Hey everybody, how you doing today? We are back with another liquidity list top 10 in 10 minutes for football. Who do you think's going to be on the top this week? Think there's going to be any surprises? We'll be back right after this to find out. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you are ready for another hot top 10 list. This week, we are talking about football. Every Friday, we dig through eBay sales data for the last 7 days. Little bit more of a tweak this week. I have refined the sales data. I continue to refine it towards what I do, which is a low-end card seller, and what a lot of my audience does as low-end card sellers. I have refined it to non-graded cards in buy it now or fixed price offerings or listings, if you will. So that has really narrowed down the listings a little more to exactly what you would find in my store or in a lot of this audience's stores. And the list is, again, the liquidity list is a reflection of the volume of a player's card moving. So who can you buy? And if you price it right and get a good condition card and have variations that people are looking for, you can flip those very quickly. That's what the liquidity list is all about. And my friend Stu and I, we spend a lot of time going through that eBay data. We're constantly looking to add some new names to it. We've got a lot of Hall of Famers. We've got a lot of young stars out there. Some of our top tier players around the NFL, like current stars like Patrick Mahomes. We've got greats like Walter Payton on our list. I was just looking at some new numbers for some younger guys. New names I added this week: Ricky Pearsall, Kennedy Brooks. Guys like that. I'm always looking to see PJ Franklin. That was a unique one this week. That hit some sales data. But when I looked at the detail, there was 1 day of sales this week. PJ Franklin sold 16 cards on 1 day this week and nothing every other day. So as we look through that sales data, we're looking for some of those outliers as well to help you out. So what can we tell you about this week's top 10 before we get into it? Well, a lot of familiar names in it. Not a lot of names dropped out, but we did have one player drop out because we also had one player return to the top 10. Position-wise, did they stay the same? Well, we'll have to take a look at that and see what they did. We will, before we jump into the list, actually, we'll throw up last week's list so you can compare as we go through it. That'll be your final thought before you get into this week's liquidity list for football, our top 10 in 10 minutes. So why don't we give you that list right now, right up here. That is last week's numbers. Take a mental image of that. Take that picture. And we will jump into our top 10 right now.
Opening the list at number 10, Jalen Hurts. Number 9, Hall of Famer, Joe Montana. Number 8, returning to the top 10, Barry Sanders. Number 7, Trevor Lawrence. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Launching into our top 5, quarterback, Bryce Young. Number 4, Cincinnati quarterback, Joe Burrow. Sliding to number 3, Tom Brady. Surging to the number 2 spot, CJ Stroud. And remaining uncontested in our top spot for the third week in a row, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City MVP quarterback.
Well, there we go. Another week of Patty Mahomes at the top of the list. At this point, I don't know who's going to dethrone him anytime soon. He's pretty dominating out there. He's the only player to surpass 2,000 cards in the week, which I find pretty darn impressive. 2,394 cards. Closest player is CJ Stroud at 1,838 cards. So what is that? 550 card difference. Tom Brady, roughly 200 cards behind CJ Stroud. Those guys dancing around the top. Now, CJ Stroud, he was down 2 spots the week before, so he surged a little bit. Tom Brady's pretty stable where he's at. Patrick Mahomes is pretty stable. Those are all pretty safe buys right now. Going through that top 10, Bryce Young, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Barry Sanders, Joe Montana, Jalen Hurts. Those are real solid buys out there when you're looking at liquidity in the market. Kicking just outside is our second tier. So numbers 11 through 20. We'll put them up here on the screen. Let you take a look at those. Guys like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Love, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills, mind you. Don't fall for that mistake. I think there's a defensive back for the Jaguars that you don't want to be picking him up. A-Rod's out there. I thought A-Rod might see a little spike with his political talk, but that hasn't really panned out. Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith is in there. Young running back Bijan Robinson entering in his second year. Brock Purdy still a stalwart out there. Hall of Famer Dan Marino, CeeDee Lamb, and Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, though, just hanging on there in that top 20. I think his media presence helps him a lot with that. Who didn't make the top 20, though, that surprises you? I know there's some names that I'm surprised at. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. After everything he did last year, and his card sales were really strong last year, outside our top 20. Caleb Williams, after the draft fanfare, he was up there in our top 10 at one point. Now he's outside the top 20 with only 457 cards sold last week. Perennial Hall of Famers, Brett Favre, Jerry Rice, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, all outside our top 20. Not very far outside the top 20, but outside nonetheless. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the list. Is there anybody that you want to know specifically? What are their numbers? I will reply back in the comments with their weekly numbers last week. You can kind of get a feel for how far outside our top 10 or top 20 they are. Let's see. A little bit of house cleaning here. We will not see a liquidity list on Monday and Tuesday next week. Mondays are usually baseball. Tuesdays are usually basketball. I will be on the road. I will be working in Richmond, Virginia for the beginning of the week, so I will not be able to put out our normal baseball and basketball lists. We're going to skip a week on those, but we should be back next Friday with another football list. In the meantime, next Wednesday night, remember every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, you can catch Stu and I with the Dollar Box. Adam over at the Dollar Box hosts Dollar Box Live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Fun, interactive chat with the three of us and all of you. Start that at 8 p.m. Central. Usually goes 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on how active we are in the topics of the week. We spit a little news, a little knowledge, and a little nonsense when we're on that call. So join us out there. I think that's it for this week. If it's your first time here, go ahead and subscribe so you can get those notifications when we have new content coming out. If you like these lists, if you find they're helpful, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button so I know that this is helpful to you and you'd like to see more of it. If you have suggestions of something I can do differently with these lists, by all means, throw them out there in the comments. I've already made a few tweaks to what we're doing because of feedback from folks like you. So let us know. All right. That is it for this week. We hope you find this fun and insightful. Until next time, peace out. Take care of each other.